we are ready. Okay, give us 1 second because we're live right now. How are you? Whew. Okay, guys. Hey, this is Barbara Hort with I Am This Woman. And if you're wondering what is I Am This Woman, it is a show that I decided I wanted to do. And I wanted to interview different, mostly women, but every now and then, because if you look, either that is, well, it could be a pretty woman with a beard, but of course it's not. This is Frankie Curran, one of my closest and dearest friends, and
Hello.
he is here to talk about. Well, first of all, I want to tell you, he's an amazing, talented artist, probably one of the best that I know. He's incredible, a husband, a father, and he's also a stay-at-home dad, and he's here to talk about how the family life dynamics are shifting in society now, and especially with everything that's going on with the virus and just imagine how everything is looking now. So, Frankie,
Hello.
welcome.
You forgot the intro. You forgot the intro. This is Barbara's unofficial intro. Ready?
So silly. Oh my gosh.
You know. You know.
That makes me happy. That's really, really funny. I'm trying to see where I want to make sure because Facebook has their own kind of craziness and everything, and I'm looking. There you are. Okay, we're on, we're on, we're on. All right. So, your mama says, my son, I love you.
Oh, Mom.
I have to tell you, I really love that you're here and that you said yes, because I know you're probably like, what the heck, right? But I
Yeah.
love that you played a song for me. You are
Oh, yeah.
That's amazing. We got to write a song. I'm gonna have my own song.
I am this woman.
I am this woman.
You like the Oprah with a little touch of Ricky Lake.
Now this is going to be an interesting show because
We're getting done.
Frankie and I, when we get together, we do nothing but laugh. And if you could see into our Facebook Messenger, the messages that we send back and forth to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really blessed to have him as one of my best friends. And I'm super excited, number one, to have you on the show. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are you like, oh my gosh? So let's talk about this because you are a stay-at-home dad.
I am.
And tell us about your little one. I know.
My Emma.
Your Emma.
My Emma. Well, it's interesting because it took a long time to have Emma. Yeah. So there was that facing the possibility that I would never be a dad, biologically anyway. So so it's the hardest job ever. And it's that cliche, like the most rewarding job ever, because when you see her say a word or pick up a fork or run around, it's just, everything's a milestone, every little thing.
Yeah, and she's brilliant and she's feisty. She's
sassy.
She's so sassy. That's probably why I love her so much. She is, and I've been really blessed and honored to be in her life, from
Aunt Barbara. She has an Aunt Barbara. Mm-hmm.
I know. I so love that. So how is it for you? I mean, because you are a stay-at-home dad, and when you think about being, most of the time it's not usually we hear about a stay-at-home dad. We hear tons about stay-at-home moms.
Yeah.
So this dynamic has totally changed. So talk to us about
that. You get it's a lot of, she's with daddy today. I'm like, no, she's with daddy every day. Oh, daddy's babysitting. No, like I'm a caretaker. I'm a dad. I'm not babysitting. I get a lot of that. I get a lot of people. It's the tone of surprise. It's always like and then there's always some kind of appreciation for the most part after that. It's really nice to be recognized in that way because the shock value is kind of funny. At first you're like,
right. Well, it's a very interesting thing, like you said. It's that at first it's the shock of like, oh, you're taking care of your daughter today, right?
Yeah.
Because the majority of caretakers are moms. We kind of know that.
Yeah.
So, I'm always in total awe of you because not only do you take care of her, but you take the time to make sure with her food or her doctor's appointments, like you're there.
Yeah, I'm the one who, I mean, my wife has a corporate type job, and I'm an artist, and I work at nights and weekends. So it's kind of two ships passing in the night. So that's really challenging, but it works. And it's just the thing that was most practical to take care of a child. I know
Right.
my wife, and I wish that the circumstances were kind of different. I think it's that old school mentality that we grew up with. Um, and I think the world has also. But my wife is the one who makes more money and can provide, health care and stuff, and that's important. So
Right.
I always wanted to be a dad. I guess let's put it that way. I always wanted to be a dad, and everybody said I'm from New York. If you couldn't tell, so he's a baseball player, firefighter, cop, all that stuff, and I put dad, and they looked
Yeah.
at me like I was nuts, and I had to change it. So
Wait a
yeah,
minute. I love that. So when you were doing the whole, what do you want to be when you grow up?
yeah,
You said a dad.
yeah, and I had to change it. I put a dad like mine,
Oh,
be a dad like my dad. Yeah.
that's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. If your dad is watching this, like kudos,
He's
good
probably
point.
died. He's working, I think,
He's
healthcare.
working. That's okay.
Yeah,
Your mom a
my
text and
mother
tell him.
was
Of
like,
course, your
no, no.
mom.
But
But
I mean, both my parents worked too. My mom worked a couple jobs too, and she always came home and cooked and cleaned and did all those things. And I guess after talking, I found out that because of what my dad did, because he was a city union worker and his hours, he actually took care of me, from what I understand, for like the first couple of years. So it's interesting that I'm not such a pioneer of this stuff. Sometimes I have to tell myself I am to get through the day, but I'm not,
when Emma is like climbing the walls.
climbing the walls, throwing things at me. Yep.
Well, I think she's so much like you. She has, but I love what you put into her and what space you allow her to just kind of be. And I think with you and Megan, you're being parents, and I remember when you had sent me the message that you guys were pregnant, and that was
Yeah.
such an exciting time, and all these moments, and I know how much your family means to you, and I think that that's what makes this so fantastic is the type of dad that you are, because Emma's going to grow up with that strength and that little sass that she has. She's going to grow. Oh gosh, I feel.
Between
Woo.
her mother and I, forget it.
Oh
Forget.
yeah, between the two of you, Emma is going to be something else. I'm telling you. You know.
But that's like one thing that I'm really I hope for. I hope
Mhm.
so. People don't know, my daughter out of the womb has a dairy allergy, an egg allergy, a peanut allergy, and a sesame allergy, and we've had to find all those things out the hard way, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Um, but I hope that she's strong-willed and determined, so she can be an advocate for herself and make sure, because I will be the father, like, you can't go nowhere and you can't eat nothing, and here's like the note for the mother and the sister, and I'll be calling like, there's no
Right.
Chinese food for you, there's sesame oil and everything, like, I'm gonna be that father. But
Yeah. But
uh
she's going to be. But I love what you said is that she's going to be an advocate for herself also, and that's what you're teaching her.
yeah,
And I think that that's such a powerful, powerful message, is to be able to really put that out there and to create that space for a young girl. Because I mean, like, that's your baby, you
yeah,
know. And so I know you well enough to know that. Oh
she's
boy,
in
y'all
trouble.
two are gonna be like
She's
this.
in trouble. She's in trouble.
You're
Oh
in
no,
trouble.
I hope not. Yeah.
Yeah, you're in trouble. Are you kidding? Because that first time when she's already got the no down pat.
Oh no, it's daddy bop, bop, daddy bop.
So she's telling you to stop. That's even better. So when the people do come up to you and, like you said, they're giving you that kind of respect for, because a lot of women, of course, this is I am this woman.
Yeah,
So how do you explain? I mean, because there has to be so much. There's a respect between you and Megan, your wife, and being
yeah.
able to do that. But then also, how do you find that balance? And especially now, because she's Megan's working at home now. So This is very interesting,
It
right?
it's really hard. Ever since my daughter's born, I have to do things at work. So I have to take her to work on certain days and prep and do paintings. And, as she's grown, I have to watch out for the piece of chalk that she found and she's eating, like those kind of things. So um, I know Megan understands how hard it is, but now I think she really like sees and like experience how tough it is when she's like pulling at your leg and like you're trying to cook her breakfast and she's pushing you off like away from the counter and wanting you every minute. Like you can't, no moment is to yourself, and
Yeah.
people don't experience it till they experience it. uh but yeah, it's you can't go to the bathroom, you can't anything. So for her, I think it's interesting because Megan had to Megan got a new job while she was pregnant,
Right.
and 6 weeks after Emma was born, she had to go right back to work.
Mm.
So MVP, she's the MVP, and then every break and stuff like that. Thank God her company that she works for supports breastfeeding and stuff, and all her breaks were dedicated to pumping and
Yeah.
just creating what she can for Emma in that way. So now, I don't know, it's just so different now because now she's independent and it's harder. It's just harder. She's just everywhere. She's everywhere, every moment. We have stairs. She wants to just walk up and down the stairs. So
Sure.
she has to stand at the top here while she's working. And I gotta
Right.
stand at the bottom and try and cook and,
Yeah.
no
It
moments your own.
changes. I mean, and I think that really you have to be commended because of the fact that you are willing to be the stay-at-home dad. I know that when I had my son and I went back to work pretty early, and so my husband at the time, he stayed at home with him, and
Yeah.
I think it made a huge difference also. When you see these articles in the paper about what's happening at these daycares, and
Yeah.
yeah. So for you to put that space out there for her to be able to do that. So what do you say to other men? Because I know it's almost like, men go out and they're like, hey, look, here's my child, here's this, when they're putting on social, so here's the baby. But it takes so much more to raise a child than just putting a picture out on social or something like that. So
Yeah,
what would you share with men?
it's your responsibility too.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility too. And just because you go and make a paycheck and provide in that way, it's not 1950.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work, in my opinion. And I try not to be judgy about it. We know people who go to work and they come home and, the mother's still take. I'm just not that person. I
Mhm.
always wanted a kid and I'm happy to do it. And there are days when I'm like, I have to walk away and
Yeah.
sometimes I can't.
Yeah.
Um,
But I think
but
that's really good to say that because I think it is like a kid doesn't just pop up, it's not like,
right,
hey, you know, um,
she's up.
she's up. Uh-oh, Emma's
Yeah,
up.
she's gonna go to sleep.
We might have a guest star. But yeah, so that's the thing about it is that you do have that, and then all of a sudden, how is it? And it really, I love how you do acknowledge Megan though, like her
Yeah.
birthday, Mother's Day, whatever like that, and how much does it mean to you to have that child to be able, like, what has it done for your relationship with Megan as well with having Emma?
It's tough. It's tough because a lot of things go on the back burner, especially with opposite schedules. Like I'm not even lying to you when I mean, because you're my friend, but Megan comes home 6:15, Frankie's out the door 6:20 to go to work.
Yeah,
That's it. There's no dinner times. I work weekends, so my weekends are I get maybe a little piece here and there in the morning, and
yeah.
that's really it. And then I'm gone until midnight.
How has it changed though with the coronavirus and that now you guys are at home? What has shifted now?
Like I said, I think she wants Megan more. She wants that time with her mother, and that's the one thing that I can tell for men. A relationship with a mother and a child is completely different than a father and a child.
Yeah,
I can sit here and I can take care of her, and she can be daddy's girl all day long. You share a space of creation for 9 months. I don't, 10 months really. Like there's a connection, a bond you can really not sever at that point. So it's challenging again. And we did things a natural route, and my wife breastfed, and like you watch those things
Those
happen,
moments.
and just a
Yeah.
bond. Yeah, it's just like this bond and connection that like I'm not gonna have. I
Yeah.
have in a different way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you're having time now together for dinners or.
Yes, yeah. So going. Sorry, tangent.
No, no,
So
no. But I like how you did that because I think it's so important that you start to see it that yes, you're at home taking care of her, but mommy is still. I remember when I was over right before we did the lockdown and I came over to your house and Megan wasn't there. And then all of a sudden she came home and Emma just was like,
it's like
Mommy.
Christmas. It's like Christmas morning.
Right.
Yep.
Christmas every day because mommy's coming home, you
Yep.
know? So I think that that's important to know because dads sometimes they do get the bum rat because of all of a sudden it's like, hey, by the way, I'm over here too, you know? But I know how
Yeah.
much he adores you, you know? But still,
I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for everything we have because of what my wife can do and what I can do. And it's hard. But yes, we do have the time together, and we have a lot of time together. A lot of time together. A
you know
lot of
what?
time.
I'm gonna have to tell you, the walls are closing in on me. And
Oh
to the
yeah. Oh
to the
yeah.
point, I'm just like this. I'm like, can we stop this? Like, this is not
Yeah.
this this is not working for me.
Yeah.
Going out to walk or bike riding or anything to get out of the house is really helping. So, how is that dynamic? Because now all of a sudden, the three of you, like, it can't be big enough.
No, it's not. It's not big enough. It's not big enough. But what we did was we set up like in our bedroom right now. Like I put a table up, and Megan can work and have her own space. And then she'll be downstairs sometimes, either in the living room or the kitchen or whatever it may be.
Mhm.
But a lot of times she's up here, so she still has her workspace, and I'm with the baby. But there are sometimes like I'm like I gotta go upstairs because
Right.
I need to change the scenery. But to be honest with you, because of being a stay-at-home dad, it hasn't changed for me and Emma so much.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a hermit. My wife likes to be outside and like be in the jungle, and I'm not. I'm too hefty. It's too hot in Florida. I walk outside and I'm sweating in 35 seconds, and I'm like, I gotta go back inside. Like I just too big for the world here. Um,
Silly.
so it's tough like that because when it's cooler, it's okay, but you don't have the
It has
parks.
been hot
I don't have
lately.
Publix runs and stuff like those are the things we used to do. She would get out because we would do things.
Have lunch with Auntie
Yeah,
Barbara.
have lunch after 6 months. Let's have lunch.
Oh my gosh, I know. This is what's really for me. You and I, we've always texted and talked, and
Yeah,
we always. I think the one thing I missed is that we usually do phone conversations, so we don't do it as much now.
yeah.
Frankie,
It's my fault.
thank you. I'm so glad people. I got a
All my
recording of
fault. People in the
it.
world. It
It
was my
is, but
fault.
I'm now talking to people who probably I wouldn't have never spoken to.
Yeah,
And so that has been amazing with having that connection and
yeah.
being able to do that with it. So would you change anything as far as being the full-time worker and going out and not just for financial reasons, but this time that you have with her right now with Emma, this, is pretty incredible.
Yes and no. I want every minute with her. Mentally, it's really hard for me personally, and I have family members and stuff like that who they're like, "You should be." So I'm so grateful, but it's hard.
Right.
Um,
But let's talk about that because I think that this is really, really important because I know there are mothers out there, and whether you're a mom or a dad, the fact of it is that being around a child, kudos to those teachers
yeah,
and the preschoolers. If they don't get a raise after all of this, shame on us
yeah.
because I can imagine the people who are at home now with their kids. So how is it when you're dealing with that because of raising a child, being you and this child for you? How is it?
Well, like I said, your whole world changes, right? You don't
Yeah.
know what's going on in the beginning if it's your first child, and you have everybody's opinion and how they think you should raise your child right off the bat. That's tough. And I'm from a big Italian family from New York. So you're talking like, and my wife too, forget it.
Oh my gosh, when I see your families together and
Oh,
I'm there, there's so many times when you'll just look at me and
man.
you'll be like, oh my gosh. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, you do. You have I mean, it's a blessing. You have a ton of family, but that whole thing about like, let me tell you what you should do on raising your child has to be intense, you know?
Yeah, I mean, so it's hard because my family dynamic, my dynamic is a little different. With we moved to Boynton from Fort Lauderdale, so I don't have my parents like I would want them
Mhm.
to, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Um, that's tough. That's the toughest part. I'm really grateful for my in-laws in that respect because they're a little closer. My father-in-law is always helping out more than
Yeah.
anybody. But it's just the way it is right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a little tough to drive an hour, or for me to drive an hour south to go maybe 15 minutes south that I
Sure.
really got to go. So it's like I'm going 45 minutes and then another like hour. It's just inconvenient for people. So
Yeah, I would expect that.
challenging.
I would expect that you, because you want to be able to, share MO with your family, and
Yeah.
you want to give yourself some time and all of that.
That's what so if I was to change one thing
Yeah.
as an artist, it's been really challenging. So this is double-sided because my wife is home and this stuff, I can do my artwork. Um, Prior to that, I really couldn't because you have your little rugrat running around and playing, and I paint with oil paints, so toxic, and there's resins and smells, and I live in a house where I don't have windows to open. I have
Right.
sliding doors, so
Which you can't, because then if you
too
open up the
hot,
front door.
too hot. So too hot. So that that has been really hard for me. So if I can change one thing, I would love to like have some kind of studio time to
Mhm.
myself, a couple times a week if I could, and just get in that space. Because once you get into a space as an artist, you can't just like, oh, I'm gonna paint right now. Like
Right.
sometimes, like, no, I have to paint right
Yeah.
now. And once you go, you really can't stop. And what people don't get is like, if I paint today and then I go to sleep and I paint tomorrow, my brush stroke and the way I handle it is different. So
Huh.
sometimes you have to like move and
Keep
move
on
and
going
move
and doing. Yeah.
because you want it to be in the same space of creation. So
Well, I've seen you paint, and I know you were just at a wedding like
yeah,
a month ago,
uh,
and you were doing painting. And Misty Wilson, she had mentioned, she says like she could have just stared at you doing this because you're so talented. You're incredibly talented, and I've been
thank
to
you.
some of your classes and everything, and of course,
Yeah,
like I want to paint like you, and of course I draw stick figures, so.
I can't draw a stick figure. It bothers me. There you go. It's the other side of it.
And I'm just like, because see, my creativity comes in a totally different way. Like we were
Yeah,
just looking at my website, and like I'm so proud because I created that. But if you were to ask me to draw it,
you
it would totally
design.
be stick figure
There's
boxes.
a difference. It's a design
Totally
aspect. Yeah,
different. And I think that that's so incredible. So if you were to have this dream job of yours, this thing to say, this is what I want to do, what would
yeah.
it be?
I would paint.
Yeah.
I would paint.
But paint what? Like paint this, paint that, what?
No, so I would paint people. I paint portraits. I love portraits. I think when you look at a person, it's always different. I can paint a person 45 times and it's always different.
Mm,
It's ever changing. And and animals, I like animals too.
yeah.
Um, but I feel like everybody deserves a portrait. No
Why?
matter who you are. I had an aunt who died young,
Yeah.
and I remember just wanting to immortalize her.
Mm.
So it started there really when I started to shift into that, and I was like 15. So I'm like
Wow.
what 30 now, so it was like 15 years ago. Uh, yeah, and I think everybody, like no matter who you are, I think like you deserve a portrait. Uh,
I love that. I do. So, you talk about your aunt because that's how we got to meet,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
which was kind of crazy. And now we've been friends for so long. I feel like I don't know, it
It
feels
was
like it's been forever.
divine intervention there, I think.
Yeah.
I believe
But
that.
you have a whole family, like you said, you're from New York.
Yeah,
So how is that for you with everything going on in New York? How's your family?
they're
Um,
good.
good.
Um, my aunt's on the front lines from what she has to do in a way.
Mhm.
She has to go into work, not in like a hospital setting, but she works for Meals on Wheels, so she has to go into work. My
Wow.
uncle is a manager for Costco in Brooklyn, so he's had to deal with fights and stuff. My cousin is I'm pretty sure she's like a manager in a section of Costco in Staten Island. So I have people there. I know Megan's aunt is a nurse and she's really on the front line. So thank God everybody's okay. We know a couple people who had it. Someone passed away from it. But they're okay, thank God right now. But my aunt was saying, she was like, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when here, especially on Staten Island. Staten Island's 9 miles by 13 miles. You know everybody, you're not going nowhere. Then, like it's small.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of tough to deal with. We were going on vacation, we were going on vacation in March, and like up to the wire, I was like, no, I'm going to keep it. I called the pediatrician. I spoke to the pediatrician. How do you feel? This is before it really went crazy.
Sure.
And, last minute, me and Megan decided to cancel, and we canceled it. And that sucks, but I'm glad because it would have been chaos, and it just wasn't lining up. Everything was falling apart that we had like planned and we're planning. So it's perfect that happened, because it would have just been whatever.
Yeah. And I think that's really powerful, because making those decisions as a family together of what's needed. And the fact of it is like, I know you're this Staten Island guy. Like, if you could go there every weekend, like I can't wait to go there with you and everything, so I can say like ball and fork and
ball. Yeah, it's not ball. My daughter says ball, by the way. She don't say ball. It's ball. Megan's like, get the ball. I'm like, you have to say ball.
Ball.
Boo.
But that's so awesome. So what is your favorite part about being a stay-at-home dad?
Watching my baby grow.
Oh, look at you.
Watching my baby. And that's the hardest part too.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part too. I can tell you how many nights me and Megan, like two stupid morons, sit in this bed at nighttime and I'll like look at the pictures of the day and she'll be like, keep going. And we're bawling, hysterical.
That's so nice.
So fast.
Yeah. My son, Daryl, and
buddy.
I know. I mean, like September, he'll be 24, right? I must say I do look good for having a 24-year-old, so I feel good about that. But
43, you 43.
Oh, I had him when I was like 5. But it's watching him now as a young man. I look back at pictures and see him and think about when he was little, and it was like mommy, and now how he has his own place and he's doing his job, and like he has a real job. We always
He's got a better job than both of us, that kid. And the best part that people probably don't know is that Daryl has been planning for this situation his entire life, because this kid works from home, sits in his underwears or whatever he does, just hanging out, locked down, or don't like to drive, nothing. He is ready. He was ready for this. I'm sure he had a stockpile of toilet paper too. He was born ready for this situation. Yep. If you want a friend, Daryl. Yep. He will get you through it.
And his girlfriend Amari, which is really funny because she's like, and she's a plant
planner
whisperer. I've never seen anyone build plants like she does. But what's really interesting, because she's still going to work, and so I'm always like, "Are you okay? Is everything okay?" Yeah. But you're right, Daryl does. He works from home. He has a great job at home, and he was like, "I can teach y'all something on this."
His blue steak delivered.
Yeah, his blue. Oh, disgusting. He eats blue steak, which is way beyond me. So I always ask people certain these questions and everything like this, and this is interesting because I kind of know it. But how do you start your day? Besides getting up and running.
I don't.
Really? That's awesome.
MVP, my wife gets up with Emma.
Wow.
Especially because she goes to work. So she was just telling me that she's like, Emma's kind of like her alarm clock.
Oh, that's so
cool. Emma will get up and she'll take care of her. When trying to think, because I feel like it's so long ago that Megan went to work. Megan would get up with her. We feed her breakfast. She feeds her breakfast. She puts some like little nursery rhymes on for her, and then she wakes me up for when she's got to go. I get up and I stroll downstairs and I lay on the couch for a little while. I try and get up. Sometimes I never get up.
My special morning routine is I get up out of my bed and lay on the couch.
Megan, very early on, I'm not a good sleeper. So if you wake me up, I'm up. I'm like this. I'm like crazy neurotic in the middle of the night, not going back. Like, don't wake me up because I'm never going back to sleep and I'm gonna be miserable. So she
Yeah.
learned that really early. She said, I'd rather have one cranky baby than two cranky babies. So Megan really, which is again, it's good both ways because she was breastfeeding. So the baby wanted her at nighttime, really,
You're like,
Um,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it actually worked out.
That's
But in the
awesome.
beginning, we were trying that, and I was like, okay, if she needs a diaper, I'll change the diapers and stuff. And then
Sure.
it kind of transitioned into like, yeah, Frankie's not going back to sleep, and it's just not working out. So
Yeah. So tell me, what can you do to make the world a better place?
love your child,
Oh, I love you so
raise a
much.
child who experiences love, unconditional love,
Yeah.
and feels safe and protected, wanted, worthy, deserving, cherished, valued, treasured. I tell her all these things at nighttime, or
Yeah.
like if it's like me and her, and like she's taking a nap or whatever, and I'm always like, yeah, I tell her, I'm like, you're valued, you are wanted, you are safe, you are loved, you are loving, you are
Aw.
innocent. That I think to raise somebody who will be kind, not nice, to be
Mm,
kind and also not take crap from anybody and
yeah.
kind of know their boundaries on things.
Love that
And,
part.
and that's the one thing I want to shift from. Like that's the one thing I want to take and shift from like how I grew up and how my family and the culture of both our families and stuff like that we have.
Yeah.
Um, that's the one thing I really want to implement. Be kind, but stand up for yourself
Yeah.
and
You're
hold
kind
down.
badass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I get like when I'm talking to Emma, I'm like, you are a queen.
Oh
You
yeah.
are like
Oh, but
so.
right, and that's the thing too. Like I tell you all the time. I tell her, I'm like, you are a little goddess because goddesses are born, queens have to be made.
Yeah. Yeah.
Appointed that, she's like my little goddess. So
It's super awesome because I love also how you surround her like I'm blessed enough to be a part of her life and so it's really something that is a great gift that you guys have given me that and so I remember at Christmas time like I was looking back at pictures and I sent you that one video and this is really special because we have so many memories and
yeah.
this it means a lot. So what is the one thing you do to live your life with purpose?
Say that again. One thing I do to live my life with purpose.
Mhm.
Try and raise Emma, be the best dad I can be for Emma.
Yeah. And I have to say, you are also a really great friend.
Thank you.
You're funny and silly, and so there's so many more because I know you're a fantastic dad also, which is really cool. So, I have a thing that I do with women, and I say, I really think that when women are empowered, they impact the world. They impact like their life, their community, their families, and the world. If you were to have a motto, what would it be?
If I was to have a motto, what would it be? That's a tough
Besides
one.
Staten Island for life. I mean,
You got me there. I'm trying to formulate it. If I was to have a motto, what would it be? To love unconditionally and to forgive easily. Um,
yeah,
Stay strong.
stay strong for sure.
Here you go. I got another one. There you go. Your vulnerability is your strength.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree with you on that. One of the things that, when you think about back in, I think it was January when Kobe Bryant passed away, it really hit so many people. But I think one of the things that he did is that in his last 3 years of life, he really did create something special. So I would ask you, if you were to leave a legacy, what would it be?
And here she is.
Emma?
The answer right here.
Oh my gosh.
Wave, Lucas.
Hey, Eminem.
Here's your answer right here.
Aw, I've never had a guest bring on a guest. So this is awesome. Hi,
I know I
Pumpkin.
have all these like corny cliche answers, but they're real for me. So to leave a legacy,
And bye, Emma. Aw.
I would want to. Sorry.
That's okay. I love
Say it
that.
again. Leave a legacy. Tradition. Tradition. When I think about legacies, I think about. It's funny because I mean, my dad's side is very big into that. My grandma, my grandfather, my dad is very big into tradition. Okay. I would want to leave. I would want people to create traditions, good ones, joyful ones, and teach their kids that, because that's the stuff that follows you, and that's the stuff that people hold on to.
Yeah. Aw. I love that Emma came on. I think that that is just so perfect.
You duck.
Oh, oh
You
my
duck.
gosh.
She says duck.
She's so cute. She's so cute. I love the fact that you talk about traditions because, you know, I've been blessed enough to, like I said, to be around both of your families and to be
Yeah.
able to be such a part of it. And it has been such a gift to see that, you know, and like your grandma, like I just simply adore your grandmother. Oh my gosh. I know. She's so amazing. She's so amazing.
You know, as amazing as my grandmother is, my grandfather was just as amazing, and that's the stuff I really think about. I was just sending pictures to one of my aunts because I had found old pictures. I was going through a hard drive, and he was sick and he had no legs and he had to be in the nursing home, and they would like let him out for the day. And I'll never forget, we had to like put him in the car in the Poconos, middle of like pitch black out, snowing, and he was so upset. It was Christmas Eve.
Mm.
And he couldn't stay home to see the kids open the gifts in the morning. Hey, talking, I was in Florida in college. I was like 19 years old. He was so upset. And that was really thinking about that stuff and remembering the tradition of that and how
Yeah,
important that stuff is, you know,
I
that
love that.
gets
Well,
them.
that's perfect, and I think that's a it's a perfect way to do that. And so, what would you leave as this final statement to people who are watching this show?
What I believe was a final statement. Ah, you got me. You get me. What would I say is pay attention to the people who do stay at home with the kids, because it's so mentally taxing and draining, and even a ride to the grocery store is tough sometimes. Picking
Yeah,
up the phone is really hard. Barbara, you know firsthand that me picking up the phone sometimes is really, really challenging,
yeah,
because if that's a moment and I have 5 minutes to myself, I love everybody and I know people know I love them, and like I have to like fill
well,
up
you
my
can ask you for
tank.
help also because
Yeah, that
if you
too.
were to say, if you were to say, hey Barb, can you go to public? Remember I was in Publix and you're like, can you find me some yeast stuff?
Yeast.
And I'm like, yes. And so
Like
I found it.
bread.
I brought it over. You never paid me the money. That's okay.
Give you toilet paper.
We did an
We
exchange.
bought it. We bought it.
Look, it was an awesome exchange, but it's funny. But you know, that's something that I've always told you: ask for help,
Yeah.
like ask for support.
Requesting support is
Yeah,
that's a big statement for people.
yeah, you know.
Yeah,
So,
that goes deeper into a whole
and,
different
well,
conversation.
we know that, and that's why I keep on. And I would tell you this: as people, like I check in on you, and
Yeah,
I do that because I know how you are. And even if you're hiding from me, I'm like, are you hiding? Are you
yeah,
hiding from me?
yeah,
So I do know that. So I, you know, take care and watch out for those people. Even when everybody goes back to work, like you're still going
yeah.
to be at home.
Right. That's the thing. I'm still gonna be at home. People are still gonna be at home. people don't believe, like, so if you read articles now and you read these things, always mostly geared towards moms, right?
Yes.
But it resonates. Think about that person. Think about that dad. Don't do the, and some people don't like being called Mr. Mom.
Uh-huh.
It's just, some
Right.
people, like a couple family members call me that. It's different. But like when, like a
Like
random
right,
person,
you're a dad and
but like don't call, like I'm a father, respect the fact I'm a father and I'm man enough to take care of my child every day.
yeah,
Um, and allow my wife that space. I'm sure a lot of people on here know Francine Ray.
yeah,
Francine, love
of course.
Francine. We were having a conversation one day, this was months ago, and how, asking how it was, and like just so hard. And she was
Mhm.
like, think about how long it took women to get here.
Yeah.
And that's when, like, when she said something about like it being like a pioneer in the situation. And that's like when I have really hard days and I'm like, I'm a pioneer.
Yeah, but I think that's so good to know that, because it did take us a long time to get to a place of being able to do that.
Yeah, my wife always wanted that. She always wanted to be pregnant. Like she wanted being barefoot and pregnant, kind of, and like having a career. And like I was like so incongruent, like what you're saying at this point, and we made it happen. So it's actually really powerful to look back on that and see it come into fruition.
Yeah, I love that.
Because yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
One of the thing is, when going back a little bit, we went to New York in January, and I was taking 4 days just to go home, visit my aunts, uncles, all that stuff. And I wasn't bringing Emma. It was like daddy's, like, mental
Yeah.
vacation. And I ended up bringing Emma because Megan had to work and we couldn't figure out the days. So we were like, okay, perfect. So I took a loan, and I can tell you that, wow, going to New York, there was actually an older gentleman. He was sitting kind of like diagonal from me,
Uh-huh.
and he was like, "You're such a good dad." And I was like, took me back to hear a man say that, because usually it's women, right?
Right.
So there's a woman who was sitting right next to me, and I was in the aisle. So the aisle separated us. Maybe late 50s, really nice older lady, talking, trying to play with Em. Oh, you should do this. Her ears, like giving me advice and stuff like that. I was like, awesome. She ended up leaving her job, and she wanted to write children's books. So she was writing these children's books, and they were also faith-based because she was Christian. So she was telling me all this stuff. At the end, we're leaving. I get her luggage down for her, and she kind of like leans over, and I like go like this. And she goes, "You are an amazing dad. You are such an example for people. There needs to be more people like you in the world." And then she was like, all you need to do in your life is take care of yourself, and so that you can raise your kids, because your kids are going to grow up to be amazing people one day. And I was blown away. Like, you're talking like kangaroo pouch, book
Yeah.
bag, her diaper bag, this bag, Emma here, it was me. That was it. And I think people were so shocked by it. On the way back, Emma really didn't have a good flight on the way back.
Yeah, I remember telling me that.
Man, that was like the worst 3 hours of my life. You want to talk about screaming baby for 2 hours and 15 minutes? I was ready to throw her off the plane. Like, but I can probably tell you I had 7 people try and help me. 7 women, all different ages, came up. This one lady was pregnant, and she was walking up and down the aisles, I guess because she needed to move or
Right.
whatever. And she was just so inconsolable, my daughter. And she goes, "Can I hold her and walk with her?" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "I'll take," because I didn't even think about like even getting up and walking.
Right. Yeah.
10 o'clock at night.
Right.
I had
Yeah.
these 2 young kids next to me. They were like 20. They were so great. Thank God they were, but yeah, this woman took Emma and like walked her up and down a couple of times, and like she still wouldn't, whatever. But I was so apologetic, because you're like that person, late night flight.
Yeah.
And these women were like, "Honey, we've all been there." One lady told me I went to Puerto Rico from New York 4 hours. Puerto Rico, I went home to Puerto Rico. Baby cried the whole time. It happens. You're not the only one. You know, those things really affect you at some point
Being
because
compassionate to people, being compassionate.
yeah, and kind. You know,
It really does come down to that. It's just one act of kindness can make such a difference.
and I think kindness really comes from a place of love. When you really think of it, it's
Yeah.
in some.
Well, I think it's a perfect way to say that now is in this everything, and even after this, be kind to one another. Acknowledge one another. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Um,
forward.
yeah. Well, we're coming to an end. I just want to thank you for being a guest on my show. I usually ask my guests to say, their name and say, "I am this woman." But when Federico was out here, he's like, "My name is Federico, and I am definitely not this woman." But however you want to enter.
Well, my
Your
name
inner
is
woman.
Frankie. I am not this woman. Should I do it? Should I do it?
That's so funny. You go ahead. Say you.
Okay, like the like the blood pressure of a black woman eating pork all her life. Still, I rise.
You are so silly. Oh my god. That's this is the relationship, the friendship that we have here
So
is
stupid.
we just laugh all the time.
It took me a long time to put my lace front on this morning, man. Let me tell you. You see these edges? Look at these edges, man.
Well, when you sent me the message talking about what are you wearing, I was like, Frankie, really? You're so silly. I'm telling you, those eyebrows need some help there, brother man.
Man, well, listen, I shaved the middle. I don't look like Helga Pataki anymore this morning.
Well, thank you so much, Frankie. We just acknowledge you for the man that you are, the husband, the father, and for me, the friend that you are. And I'm forever grateful for you always being in my corner. I really appreciate it. Yeah. I love you, man. So, hey guys, I am Barbara Hort, and I am definitely this woman. And if you're interested in being on the show, you can send an email to my assistant. Her name is Sammy, Sammi. So it's Sammy at iamthiswoman.com. Again, Sammy at iamthiswoman.com. We are already almost full. We have one more spot open in June and then going into July. So the rest of April is booked, May is booked, June is almost booked. And if you're interested in writing a blog also for our website, please send it in. You can send it also into Sammy at iamthiswoman.com. And we're looking for blogs for women to read and just encourage them. So thank you so much for being on the show. And we'll see you next week. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.